My name is Paul John Macadan. I am a real estate broker. I am the former marketing assistant, supervisor, and marketing manager of Pragmatic Development and Construction Corporation. If familiar po kayo dito sa Subic, ang project po nila is the Susana Executive Village, Tierra Verde Subic, and sa Bataan is Daliana Hermosa. So, I'm a real estate broker with PRC license number 00276882. So, isa po tayo sa nakachamba talaga no? Sa last course or sa last batch ng 300 credit units lang ng licensure examination. And my DSUD accreditation number is 00434. I am the current owner and general manager of EMG Property Brokerage dito sa Zambales. And currently, lumalabas po ako ng Bataan ngayon para ma-experience naman ang Bataan and also Pampanga and Baguio City. So I'm already a marketing professional in real estate service for 13 years. And 13 years na ako kasi pagka-graduate ko, hindi ko alam na meron palang real estate industry. Eh, sabi ko, trabaho-trabaho lang. And then later on, ayun, naging ano na siya, naging negosyo na siya. Yan. So, I've been an entrepreneur actually for 5 years na siya. 5 years na akong practicing broker. Wala na ako sa pragmatic and nagpa-practice na ako ng real estate brokerage. So, I'm on to project selling and documentation services po yung hinahandle namin. And right now, we are exploring construction na din and yung architectural designs. Okay? And siguro later on, subdivision development, maganda din. So, pero maganda pong pag-aralan ng subdivision development, lalo na sa mga nag-e-engage dyan ng, subdividing ng properties. Kasi po, lately, medyo naghihigpit ang HLUR, DSUD pala, hindi HLURB. The Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development na if familiar kayo with the Utah data sa Cebu and Batangas. Yan. So actually Utah data is subdivided lots siya. So medyo nagkaroon sila ng problema doon. And right now, parang nagkakaroon sila ng violation with the DSUD. Kaya ako ay highly encourage everyone kung kayo ay nag-engage sa subdivision ng lots ng mga in commercial quantities, ipa-license po natin siya. Yan. Kasi ako personally, hindi ako nagbebenta ng ng mga subdivided lots kapag wala siyang license to sell. Kaya po I highly encourage na kung kayo ay nag-engage na sa ganon, ipa-license to sell ninyo para hindi din po kayo mahirapan pagdating sa 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 subdivide ng mga titles. Right? So, ang affiliations ko right now, I was the 2021 president of Junior Chamber International Olongapo, the 2022 Area Chair for Youth Leadership and Excellence Award for JCI Philippines, club secretary of Rotary Club of Freeport Zone, and I'm currently the area director for flagship programs of Junior Chamber International Philippines. And also, kung gusto niyo mag-member sa chapter namin ng National Real Estate Association, Zambales, ayan, I'm the current Executive Vice President. And next year, kung titingnan natin kung tatanggapin natin ang pagiging president for the National Real Estate Association ng Zambales. Right? And I'm also a life coach sa aming church. Yan. So ano lang po yan. Konti lang yung pinagkakaabalahan natin kaya hindi po tayo masyadong busy. Right? Kaya yung itong pagtuturo is talagang siya. Part siya na, alam niyo yun, ano na lang. Kapag wala nang ginagawa. Wala nang ginagawa. Right, so next, let's talk about the introduction to real estate. What is real estate and how does real estate affects our economy? So medyo Ita-tighten up ko po siya kasi I have prepared 45 slides dito. Pero ito pagkakasyahin natin for the next 2 hours or 1.5 hour na lang. Kasi meron pa akong tripping ng alauna. Right, so para sa mga may tripping po dyan, hindi lang kayo nag-iisa ngayon. So sabi po, the real estate industry is a key driver of the Philippine economy, generating the gross added value of about 536 billion Philippine peso in 2022. Due to the growing middle-class population and the sustained remittances from overseas Filipino workers, Filipinos purchasing and investing power in real estate properties had been gradually increasing in the recent years. If you are engaged in the real estate practice for the last 5 years or 10 years from now, before, na-experience nyo yung, alam nyo yun, biglang nag-boom ang real estate industry sa atin. And even in Subic, biglang alam nyo po sa Subic, ang binibenta ko lang dati doon, 500,000, 600,000, 700, 1 million, mahal na yung 1.5 million. But today, in Subic, ang pinakamura na, magpa-plug na rin ako, ang pinakamura na is the Fiesta Prime, na ang presyo nila is 2.4 million ang pinakamura. Dati yan na yung pinakamahal. Right? But right now, dahil nga sa sobrang ganda ng pasok ng pera na from the OFWs and even the business sector dito sa atin, talagang tumataas yung yung investing power ng mga tao. And totoo po, kanina may nagsabi na even yung mga bagong graduate, actually they are the most aggressive investors right now. Kasi sila yung mga nag-i-invest agad na, alam niyo yun, open na yung minds nila when it comes to the real estate industry. And ang real estate industry is one of the key driver of the Philippine economy. Bakit? Kasi hindi lang dahil sa taxes na binabayad natin. Okay? Alam niyo po ba na napakalaking taxes na nanggagaling sa real estate? Una, sa commissions natin, di ba? Ang commissions is ranging from 5 to 10% ang taxes na nire-remit sa government. Tama po ba? Iba pa yung value-added tax. And then, maliban doon, kapag nagpo-purchase ng mga construction materials, ng mga other other materials for the development ng subdivision, magbabayad pa rin ng tax. Okay? And also it produces na employment, 'di ba? Sa loob na community, and as well as nagpo-promote din siya ng economic value. Okay? At hindi lang 'yon, 'di ba? Kapag bumili si client ng property, anong binabayaran ng seller at ng buyer? Familiar po ba tayo? Nagbabayad sila ng capital gains tax for the seller, withholding tax para naman sa mga developers, and para naman sa buyers, nagbabayad po tayo ng documentary stamp tax, transfer tax, and other mga kung ano-ano pang mga bayarin. Kaya ang laki ng contribution ng real estate sa economy natin. Right. So, yan. So residential real estate in the Philippines comprises a wide range of residential properties from public to private housing to mid-range subdivision, condominiums, and high-class villages. Ako po personally, ang aming brokerage firm ay more on nakafocus lang kami sa project selling. Ibig sabihin, more on subdivision development po yung binibenta namin. Okay? Instead of, though minsan nagbibenta din kami ng mga private properties, the Rolands, pero later on kapag ipapractice natin kasi yung project selling, ma-appreciate nyo yung turnover ng kita. Instead of yung sa mga private properties that it takes sometimes 1 to 2 years kapag hindi pa nakuha yung tamang client. But in project selling, yung mga small cuts natin napakadali ng income turnover. Okay. So, first concept na pag-uusapan natin is the allodial system and the common law. Yan. Nabasa niyo po ba to sa inyong mga modules?
Yes, sir.
Yan. So, I want you to take note of this kasi during my examination sa licensure exam, itong allodial system and the common law ay lumabas siya during the examination kasi ito lang naman yung system na ginagamit natin or yung reference ng ownership pagdating sa real estate. So, allodial system, for hundreds of years, the land in Europe was held by royalty under feudal system. So, allodial system is a system of land ownership in which land is held free and clear of any rent or service due to the government, commonly contrasted to the feudal system. Land is held under the allodial system in the United It is a legal system that recognizes full property ownership rights of individual. Ownership includes the right of possession, control, enjoyment, and possession. So itong allodial system is a system of land ownership siya na held free, clear of any rent or service due to the government. So madalas ang allodial system is para siyang, alam niyo yun, yung parang nagbibigay tayo na yung ownership is owned siya ng mga royalty, ng mga kings and queens, and we are paying yung naka-due sa government. Okay? Doon sa royalties na meron yon. So that is a allodial system. While the common law naman is a body of law recognized by the courts based on customs and usage. While federal, state, okay, and local legislatures enact statutes which affect real estate. Ito yung statutes cannot be covered, yun. Sorry, which affect real estate. Statutes cannot cover every situation, and common law provides remedies for this situation. So, in the Philippines, we also recognize common law in our judicial system. So, pagdating sa common law, ito yung pagpaprovide ng ownership, set of yung mga rights natin na based on the law, kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng property ownership. So, mamaya, makikita natin yun doon sa Republic Act natin kung paano ba yung ownership na nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas. Right? So in the Philippines, we are using the common law for the concept of real estate. Okay. Next is the ownership of real property. So the unique nature of real estate has given rise to unique sets of laws and rights. Even the simplest of real estate transactions bring into play a body of complex laws, and realty service practitioners or licensees must understand not only the effect of law, but how the law defines real property. So ngayon, pag-uusapan natin, ano ba yung mga basic concepts or legal concepts na dapat nating malaman when it comes to the ownership of real property. Okay? The first is the bundle of rights. Yan. So the bundle of rights, okay, real property is often described as the bundle of rights. In other words, a purchaser of real estate is actually buying the rights of ownership held by the seller. So when we say property rights, are the rights someone has something, or often described as the bundle of legal rights. A symbol of legal rights is a bundle of sticks. Okay, nakakita na po ba kayo ng bundle of sticks? Yung parang mga barbecue stick, di ba? Nakabundle siya. So, yun yung pagkakadescribe sa kanya na meron sa isang property. So, each stick represents a different right. An owner may choose to sell or give away one of the rights and retain the rest. So, ito po yung bundle of rights na meron tayo. And make sure to take note of this. And huwag niyo pong kakalimutan ang bundle of rights na to. Now, normally, ito din yung laman ng examination ninyo when it comes to, part siya na examination ng real estate brokerage and sa appraiser din. Number 1 is the right of possession. Okay? The right of possession from the word itself, ibig sabihin, kapag bumili tayo ng property, di ba? Hindi naman yun, di ba? Kapag bumili ka ng property, dapat yung property na yun, ipopossess mo. Ibig sabihin, pwede mo siyang tirhan, pwede mo siyang gamitin, pwede mo siyang ayusin. Tama po ba? Wala naman kasi sa atin na bumili ng property, pero hindi niya ginamit or hindi niya pinoses. Okay? Or hindi niya inangkin. Tama ba? Kaya nga po, tinatransfer natin yung ownership from the old owner to the new owner. Kasi that is the right of possession. Next is the right to control. Okay? Kapag sinabi po the right to control, it is the right to use the property the way the owner wants it. Okay? Kung paano niya to gagamitin. Pero syempre, it has to be according to the law. Diba? Baka kasi yung kukontrolin natin tapos gagamitin natin for alam mo yun, sa illegal means. So dapat it is control must be used for legally. Okay? Lawful actions dapat yung pag-control natin. Okay? Number 3 is the right of enjoyment. So to use the property in any legal way, okay, without way or and to use the property in any legal way without interference. Ibig sabihin, kapag nasa loob ka na ng property, hindi ka na pwedeng hindi yung meron kang freedom sa loob ng property mo to enjoy whatever you wanted to do sa loob ng property. Yan. Kaya nga minsan, di ba, kapag merong maniningil ng utang, hindi siya pwedeng, hindi siya pwedeng pumasok sa loob ng property. Okay? Kasi nga, you have the right to enjoy the property. Okay? And also, pag nag-videoke kayo, tama ba, ina-enjoy nyo yun sa loob ng property. Okay? So, ba kung ano-ano yung mga example ko. Right? Next is the right of disposition. Kapag sinabing the right of disposition, ito yung ikaw si owner, ikaw na merong may-ari ng property, when you have the right of disposition, you can sell the property, okay, to whoever you wanted to. Diba? Pwede mo siyang i-transfer sa gusto mong tao, pwede mo siyang i-dispose kung pipiliin mo lang kung sino yung gusto mong bumili. Okay? You can transfer it to anyone na gusto mo. Diba? So, actually meron akong isang seller na sabi niya, you can sell my property to anyone, but not to the Chinese. Sabi niya gano'n. So, alam mo yun, kontrolado ng owner, kontrolado ng property owner, yung kung sino yung bibili or kung sino yung tatanggapin niya. Kasi that is the right of disposition. And pagdating sa right of disposition, hindi ka pwedeng sasabihin na huwag mong ibenta yan kasi kapitbahay kita. Ganon, hindi pwedeng ganon. Kasi you have all the rights to dispose the property as long as the property is in your name. Okay? Number 5 na basic legal concept ng bundle of rights is the right on exclusive use. So it is the right to keep other people from using your property. Kaya nga nauso yung term na trespassing, di ba? So no trespassing na nakalagay doon sa property mo kasi you as the owner has the exclusive rights of the property. So ikaw lang yung pwedeng ikaw lang yung pwedeng alam niyo yan, ikaw lang yung pwedeng gumalaw doon, pumasok doon, and only those people na inallow ninyong pumasok. So that is the exclusive use. So the bundle of rights consists of the right of possession, right to control, right of enjoyment, right of disposition, and right on exclusive use. So, alam niyo po, itong mga rights na to, mababasa natin ito sa Republic Act mamaya natin. Sa enactment ng law kung saan it is part of the ownership based on the Civil Code of the Philippines. Okay. So, okay, next. So, ito na po siya yung sinasabi ko. The Republic Act number 386 or the Civil Code of the Philippines, and an act to ordain and institute the Civil Code of the Philippines, of which sa book number 2 madi-describe kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng property. Di-describe din kung ano ang ownership and its modification. So yan, dyan iikot ang pag-uusapan natin today na about ownership, real property, and other properties na meron tayo. Okay. So the Republic Act number 386 or the Civil Code of the Philippines, in article number 414, sinabi niya that all things which are or may be the object of appropriation are considered movable property, or also known as personal property, and the other one is the immovable property, or also known as real property. So, ayan. So meron po tayo activity ngayon. So let's give an example of immovable property. Yan. Meron po ba kayong idea kung ano ang immovable property? So magbigay tayo ng example.
Lands.
Ano po yun? Sorry.
Lands. Buildings.
Yan, buildings. Right? Ano pa po?
Trees.
Trees. Ayan. Pwede naman buhatin ng trees. Joke lang. Ay, ano pa po?
Equipments for commercial use.
Right? Pwede kung naka-attach siya. Ano pa po?
Lots. 0.
Ano po yun, ma'am? Sorry? All right. So,
Immovable
meron
po
yung
yung
buildings,
knowledge
tama
po
po ba? So,
natin.
our law describes actually the... And thank you. Right. So, according to the Republic Act number 386, Article 415, and talagang ano yun, no? Sabi po dito, what are the immovable property? Kasama po ang land, buildings, roads, and constructions, and all kinds adhered to the soil. Ibig sabihin, lahat po ng nakakabit sa lupa ay immovable property. So, kasama din dyan ang trees, plants, and growing fruits, while they are attached to the land and form an integral part of the immovable property or of an unimmovable. So everything attached to an immovable is in a fixed manner in such a way that it cannot be separated therefrom without breaking the material or deterioration of the object. So as long as naka-attach siya doon sa immovable object na nasa lupa, okay, it would become part of the immovable property. Kasama din dyan ang statues, reliefs, paintings, and other objects for use or ornamentation placed in buildings or lands by the owner of the immovable in such a manner that it reveals the intention to attach them permanently the tenements. Kasama din po dyan ang mga machineries, receptacles, instruments, and implements intended by the owner of the tenement for an industry or works which may be carried on in a building or a piece of land which tend directly to meet the needs of the said industry or works. So animal houses and even fertilizers actually used on the piece of land, even yung mga mines, quarries, slag dams, even the docks and structures and contracts for public works and servitudes of legal rights over immovable property. So lahat po na naka-attach sa immovable property, sa lupa, sa building na yan, is considered po siya na immovable property. And so please take note of the word immovable property. Yan. Magagamit nyo po yan sa sa examination ninyo. Next is, and what are the example naman of movable property? Meron po bang So activity number 2 to. What are the example of movable property?
Cars.
Cash.
Vehicles po.
Ano po yan? Sorry?
Vehicles po. Na
Vehicles?
pag-aari ni.
Okay.
Opo.
Cash.
Cash? Pwede.
Yeah.
Yung bank accounts po.
Personal property ang cash eh.
Insurance.
Insurance. Okay. So,
Jewelry.
jewelries. Check po natin, sabi sa Article 416, the following things are deemed to be personal property. And di ko napalitan yung example of immovable. Sorry. So, ayan. So, according to Article 416, the following things are deemed to be personal property are those movable susceptible of appropriation which are not included in the preceding article are called movable property. So, real property by any special provision of law are considered also personal property. Yan, movable property is somehow nakikilala din po natin siya as the personal property. So, the forces of nature which are brought under the control of science and in general, all the things which can be transported from place to place without impairment of the real property to which they are fixed are also called movable property. So, Article 417, the following are also considered as personal property, the obligations and actions which have for their object movables and demandable sums, and shares of stock of agricultural, commercial, and industrial entities, although they may have real estate. Yan. And movable property is either consumable or non-consumable. To the first class belongs to those movable which cannot be used in manner appropriate to their nature without being consumed. To the second class belong to others. So yan po yung ating mga immovable property, yung mga movable property po natin. Okay. So, meron pong question dito. Kung nabasa nyo yung Article 427 to 439, okay? Hindi po yan 239, no? To 439, na makikita po natin doon ang bundle of rights. The question is, if a hidden treasure is found in a property, who owns the treasure?
Ano po? Can I answer, sir?
Sige po, sige po. Tingnan natin kung ano yung
Treasure is found. Yung ownership po ng treasure is magdedepende po kung private property yon or property po ng state ng, halimbawa po yung country natin ng Pilipinas. Pag sa property po natin, finders keepers po yun, di ba? Parang ganun po. Kayo po yung, sa inyo yung, nasa loob siya ng property nyo, so sa inyo po yung yung treasure is mapupunta po sa inyo. Unlike po kapag sa nakita niyo po siya halimbawa sa mga cave na property po ng government, kapag po kayo yung nakahanap, kapag po kayo po yung nakahanap na yun is may magkakaroon po kayo ng parte, parang 1/3 po ata ng treasure na yun. Basta po pagka hindi kayo trespasser. Yun po yung regarding po sa nabasa ko, sir.
Yes, thank you. Tama po
Okay.
yun, yung sinagot ni Sir Hans. No? Makikita po natin yan sa bundle of rights. I think Article 439 siya. I-check ko yung yung tamang Right, nasa article number 438 to 439 po siya, which says hidden treasure belongs to the owner of the land, building, and other property on which it is found. Nevertheless, when the discovery is made on the property of another or of the state or any of its subdivisions, and by chance one half thereof shall be allowed to the finder, if the finder is a trespasser, he shall not be entitled to any share of treasure. So, ayan. So, nakita po natin doon sa Article 438, one half po pala siya, no? One half siya ng treasure ay mapupunta sa finder as long as hindi po siya trespasser. Right? So, yan. So, speaking of bundle of rights, yung next slide po dyan is about, pag-uusapan natin is more on about the improvements and the rights na meron tayo sa real property. Right? So, the land, real estate, real property, and personal property. So, what is a land? So, di ko na po siya tatanungin sa inyo kasi baka hindi ako umabot sa tripping ko. What is a land? It is defined as the Earth's surface extending downward to the center of the Earth and upward to infinity, including the things permanently attached by nature, such as trees and water. The term land thus refers to not only to the surface of the Earth, but also to the underlying soil and things that are naturally attached to the land, such as boulders and growing things. Land also includes the minerals and substances below the Earth's surface, together with the airspace above the land up to infinity, and the subsurface airspace can be owned as a surface rights, subsurface rights, and air rights. Right? So, please take note of the word land. Kasi yan ang trabaho natin na lahat na naka-attach sa lupa at ang lupa mismo, no? But of course, importante din po yan sa examination ninyo. Baka yan lang ang maalala ninyo sa lahat na sana, di ba? When it comes to land, it is the land itself na literal na alam nating lupa. Pero kasama nito, yung lupa hindi lang yung lupa na nakikita natin. But everything, infinity nga daw, upward and downward, is part of our property or the land. So may it be the water source below the ground, may it be the minerals na pwedeng makuha sa loob nun, and even the air rights or the subsurface rights or the surface rights na meron sa taas naman ng lupa. Okay? So mamaya po meron tayong sasagutin na isang controversial na issue. Okay, tingnan natin kung ano sagot doon. Right? Next is, what is real estate? The real estate is defined as the land, okay, above and below the Earth's surface, including all the things permanently attached to it, whether natural or artificial. The term real estate is thus somewhat broader than the term land, and it includes not only the physical components of the land provided by nature, but also all permanent improvements and on and to the land. An improvement is any artificial thing attached to the land, such as building or fence. Land is also referred to as improved when streets, utilities, sewers, and other additions to make it suitable for building. So kapag sinabi pong real estate, hindi lang po ito about sa lupa. Kapag sinabing real estate, it's kasama dito lahat ng naka-attach doon permanently, may it be natural or artificial. So kasama dyan yung tubig, kung meron man dumadaloy dyan na tubig. Kasama dyan yung mga buildings, trees, or anything that is attached on it permanently. So real estate includes everything in the definition of land plus yung mga artificial things placed by humans. So ibig sabihin lahat ng natural thing na meron sa land, okay? Kung ano yung nakita natin sa lupang yon plus yung mga artificial things na nilagay ng tao. Thus, the definition of real estate includes, for example, building, garage, and fences. Okay, so that is real estate po. So ano naman pinagkaiba niya sa real property? Minsan kasi nakaka-confuse ang real estate at ang real property. Tama po ba? Minsan kasi nasasabi natin, meron akong real property doon, yung building na to. Tama? So, real estate are those physically na nakikita natin, while the real property, what is real property according to the Bureau of Internal Revenue ay defined as the benefits, interests, and rights inherent in the ownership of the real estate. So, alam niyo yun, kung kanina ang real estate are the things na natural and artificially attached on the land, while the property ay kasama na yung mga benefits, interests, and the rights inherent to the ownership. Ibig sabihin, ang real property according to BIR ay mga benefits, mga rights, and interests in the ownership of the real estate. Okay, so ito yung mga karapatan natin. Okay, that is the bundle of rights. Okay, syempre kasama na rin yung ito yung nakakapagpa-confuse sa real property and real estate. Yung the term real property is thus broader still, and it includes the physical surface of the land, what lies below it, and what lies above it. Okay, so medyo parehas kasi sila ng definition, si real estate and real property. But the real property kasi mostly or most commonly used when it is referring to the rights and benefits sa isang property. Right? Next pag-usapan natin is the improvements, air rights, subsurface rights, and the surface rights. Ano ba ang pagkakaiba-iba nila as defined? Improvements is any type of land development is considered as improvement of the property. Improvements include buildings, streets, fences, and sewers. Land that is unimproved is called raw land. So kapag sinabi pong improvement, ito yung naglalagay na tayo ng mga buildings doon, ng mga bahay, ng streets, 'di ba? Kapag mga malalakihang subdivision naman na development, okay, improvement yung streets nila. Yung fences and sewers, 'di ba? Kapag yung ang tawag doon, syempre yung daluyan ng tubig, okay? Those also part of improvement. So kapag unimproved ang land, it is called raw land. Okay? Most commonly, tinatawag natin ang raw land kapag yung nasa agricultural lands na hindi naman natin ini-improve. Okay? Next is the air rights. Ang air rights po is property ownership, includes rights to the space above the surface of the earth. These are called air rights. So the right to use, control, and occupy the space above the land can be very valuable, especially in the business sections of large cities where land is scarce. Large commercial buildings have been built over railroad trays in space gained by purchasing air rights. Kapag sinabi pong air rights, ito yung karapatan ng nating mga land property owners. Kunwari may property tayo. Okay? Ngayon, sa isang city, kunwari po, dito sa Olongapo, pwedeng ang maximum na height or maximum floors na pwedeng itayo sa Olongapo is 7 floors lang. 7-story lang siya na building. Ngayon, gusto ni SM, kunwari, let's say, gusto ni SM na gawing 10-story building ang niya, mall niya. Anong gagawin niya? So, ang pwede po niyang gawin is to purchase the air rights na kakainin ng building niya doon sa karatig niyang mga property. Pwede po nilang gawin yon. Pwedeng ibenta ang air rights. Okay? So, parang ang mangyayari, yung karatig na property niya, instead na 7-story yung ipapatayo niya, pwedeng bilhin ni SM yung 3-story. So, yung property na bibilhan niya, hindi na siya pwedeng magtayo ng 7-story, kundi bawas na ng 3 floors. Okay? So, yun po yung air rights. No? So, yun yung karapatan natin or karapatan ng mga property owners na gamitin yung property niya pataas. Okay? So, sa mga large cities, tulad po sa definition, sa large cities, binibili ang air rights. Okay? So, siguro dito sa Olongapo or sa probinsya, hindi pa ganun kauso ang bentahan ng air rights. Okay? Kasi wala pang bumibili ng ng rights sa sa taas. Next, the subsurface rights. Ito naman po yung subsurface rights is the property ownerships includes to the ground below of the surface of the earth. These are called the subsurface rights and include ownership of all the minerals in the ground called minerals rights. So an owner may transfer ownership of the surface rights but retain subsurface rights. Eh, kapag sinabi po subsurface rights, ito yung mga karapatan natin or karapatan ng property owner over doon sa kung ano yung nasa ilalim ng property. Ibig sabihin, di ba, if familiar kayo dito sa Zambales, tama po ba na isa sa mga sa nickel producer, tama ba ako? Nickel producer ang Zambales when it comes to minerals. Kaya nga, ang ginagawa ng yung mga nagmamining or nagmamine ng nickel, they are buying yung mga bundok, 'di ba? Kasi nandoon yung yung malaking reserve ng minerals na yon. So kapag binili nila yung bundok, automatically the subsurface rights ay sa kanila na. So kung i-mine nila yon, 'di ba? Kung miminahin nila yung nandoon sa ilalim ng lupa na yon, it's their right naman. Karapatan nila yon. But of course, kailangan nilang dumaan legally. Okay? Siyempre, kailangan nila ng permits. Okay? But subsurface rights is concerned, karapatan nila yon kasi ownership nila even what is below the ground. Unless, sabi nga dito, an owner may transfer ownership of the surface rights pero hindi niya papayagan na pati yung subsurface rights ay ibenta din. Okay? So, syempre, ibang na yun. Ibang mga agreements na yung ganun. Right? Next po is the so-called surface rights. The surface rights are simply the rights to use the surface of the earth, but real property ownership can also include the subsurface rights. Okay? Kapag sinabi pong surface rights, these are yung commonly na ginagawa natin na nagtatanim tayo ng puno, nagtatayo ng building, nagtatayo ng bahay, and whatever we are attaching to the land, ay ginagamit natin ang surface rights natin. Okay? So any question po doon sa improvements, subsurface rights, surface rights? Meron po ba? Wala pa so far? Ayan. Yes po. Meron po ba yun? Question?
Wala pa pong question, sir.
Okay. So, ako merong question. Ako pala yung may question no? Nandito na ba siya? Nakita niyo po ba yan sa ano? Yan. Nakita niyo po ba siya sa Facebook yan before? Who owns the banana ngayon? Kung iisipin natin yung surface rights, subsurface rights, and improvement, or yung mga pinag-usapan natin, okay, ayan, about sa bunga ng fruit bearing. Ito na nga po siya. Ayan. So, pag-usapan natin, kanino po yung kanino kaya ito ownership na to?
Doon, sir, sa loob ng bakod. Kasi hindi naman makukuha. Nasa loob na ng bakod ko, sir, subukan niya kunin. Tagayin ko siya.
Sir, yung may-ari niya,
Naka ano na, no? Nakahiwalay,
Yung may-ari po niya nasa labas
nag-trespassing na.
eh.
Ano yun, sir?
Nag-encroach.
may-ari pa rin ng puno yung may-ari ng bunga kasi hindi pa rin siya nalalaglag. Kung nalaglag na siya dun sa kabila,
Sa
ah
kanya na yun.
sa kanya na yun.
Reward niya na yun.
Bahay na.
Alright, akala ko magkakaroon tayo ng commotion dito sa bunga na to. Ayan. So makikita nyo din po yan sa Republic Act 386 nga yung ownership ng property na since nga itong puno na to ay ang tawag dito ay naka-attach pa sa lupa ng kapitbahay ninyo. Okay, sa kanya pa rin yung property, yung ownership ng saging na yan. Okay? Kaya po, wag niyo po siyang pipitasin muna kapag napunta siya sa bakod niyo. Unless, yung bunga na po na yan ay mahuhulog sa property ninyo, yung owner ng saging, ng puno, wala na po siyang, okay? Wala na siyang claim over the banana kasi nga naputol siya. Okay? Pero, yes, actually yung bintana, kapag nakaharap siya sa adjoining lot, actually ano po yan I think hindi siya pwede kapag doon na siya or yung nasa na siya, nasa dulo na siya ng ng property line. Pero within the property line, kung nasa building code pa rin naman siya, I think doon napapasok yung building code Kasi kumari yung bintana, kapag single attach yung unit, 'di ba? Yung isang side niya, hindi mo siya pwedeng hindi na siya pwedeng lagyan ng bintana kasi mag-violate naman siya sa building code. Tapos kapag naka-hangover yung isang yes, tama 'yun. Kapag naka-hangover sa second floor, hindi po siya po pwede kasi mag-trespass siya sa air rights ng kabilang property. Okay? So, yung mga yan, I think yung when it comes to buildings naman, dapat mag-comply siya sa building code natin. Okay? Kasi kapag single attach, firewall po kasi yun Diba? Hindi siya pwedeng i-extend doon sa property na yon. And even nga yung aircon na lumagpas sa okay, may karapatan yung katabing lupa. Okay, meron ako nabasa before na sinagad niya yung yung alulod ng na tubig ng bubong niya doon sa kabilang kapitbahay. Ang nangyari, nagkademandahan sila. Okay? So, yes po, tama yan. Mapapatunayan yun pagdating sa pagpapasurvey kung sino yung lumagpas sa property. Kaya po kailangan pinapasurvey talaga yun Yan. So, kaya importante na alam natin kung kanino ba talaga ang karapatan na yun. Yan. Yes, totoo po yan. Kaya dapat as much as possible, we should comply with the building code kasi para hindi siya hindi ma-abuse yung spaces natin. Right? Thank you. Thank you po. Right? Next is the real and personal property. Ano ang definition niya? So, property may be classified as the real and personal property. Okay? And distinguishing between the two is important for several reasons. In real estate transaction, all property that real goes to the purchaser, while all the personal property stays with the seller, unless provisions in the contract specify differently. Right? Another reason is that taxes are levied differently on real and personal property. So alam niyo po, meron akong isang naging case na pagdating dito sa real and personal property. Meron kasi ako nabentahan ng property dati. na gandang-ganda siya doon sa property. Binili niya yung property. Tapos, ang ginawa ng seller, kasi yung seller, mahilig siya maghalaman, mahilig siya magtanim ng orchids, ng mga puno, ganyan. So ngayon, meron siyang paboritong orchids na nakalagay doon sa doon sa parang nyog. Ngayon nung binili ng buyer yung property, syempre binili niya as is, tama po ba? Pero hindi kasi na-stipulate doon uh, na lahat ng nandoon, lahat ng halaman ay part ng binili niya. So ngayon nung nagkakaroon na ng lipatan si buyer, nagmo-move na din si seller kinuha niya yung orchids. Kinuha niya yung orchids na paborito niya. Okay? Tapos ngayon, syempre nag-move in na si buyer doon sa property. Hinahanap niya yung orchids. So, ang question ko ngayon, do you think that orchid is part of the real property or personal property siya?
Real property siya.
Personal?
Personal property.
Part siguro sir ng personal.
Yeah. Actually, ano po siya yes, ano pong sabi sa chat? Personal. Yes. Actually, yung orchid kasi is not necessarily attached to the property. Yun nga lang, siguro, actually, ang naging problema kasi doon, though, inattach siya doon, pwede kasi din siyang maging part of the real property through annexation. Okay? Yun nga lang, naging personal property siya dahil hindi naman siya part originally ng property pero kinabit siya doon. Okay? Pero naging real property siya nung nakakabit na siya doon. So hindi lang na-stipulate sa contract na everything that is attached doon na nakita ng seller na yung personal property na yon ay dapat kasama doon sa property na binili niya. Kaya nga po, ayan, wag niyo na pong gayahin yung nangyari sa akin na kailangan kapag gumawa kayo ng contract, dapat everything that is personal property doon na nasa loob ng real estate property na yan, dapat naka-indicate siya within the contract. Kasi mahirap siyang siguro nangyari po nun sa akin, honestly, nagkaroon pa ako ng problema na parang magbabaranggayan pa sila dahil sa orchids. Muntikan pang umabot sa ganun. So, pero hinayaan na lang ng buyer yung kasi maganda daw yung orchids. Kaya po, pagdating sa contracts, okay, magkaiba po ang deed or yung contract na ginagamit when it comes to transfer ng real estate and pagdating sa personal property. Kasi sa atin, ginagamit natin is deed or deed of sale for the transfer of real estate. Okay? And yung pagdating sa personal property is bill of sale. Yes, tama po yun si Sir Arnel. Yan. Even mango trees must be included in the contract. Kasi yun nga sabi ko kanina, di ba? Pwede kasing bunutin ang mangga. Lalo na kung maliit pa. Di ba? So, kailangan siyang kailangan ma-stipulate sa contract natin pagdating sa kung ano yung mga kasama sa real property. Okay? So, what is personal property? So, sabi po, personal property sometimes referred to as the personality is considered to be a property that does not fit the definition of real property. Thus, personal property has the characteristics of being movable. Items of the personal property are also referred to as the chattels, include the tangibles as chairs, tables, clothing, money, bonds, and bank accounts. Okay? Right. Yes po. So, kailangan po maging part sa conveyance yung other improvements. Kasi kapag wala, problema po talaga siya. Okay? Right? Next po is, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Did you know that real property can be changed into personal property? Sure, may question po ako. Yung mga puno po, dapat po ba pinapabayaran din po sa bayan? So, I think it depends to the owner kasi merong ibang mga owner na pinapabayaran nila yung number of trees na nakalagay doon as part of the improvement. Kasi ano din yun improvement kasi ang trees. Kahit na yung puno ng mangga, puno ng santol, those are improvements over the property and naka-attach siya doon. Merong mga property sellers na pinapabayaran to, pero merong mga property owners na hindi, okay na yan, libre na yan, parang ganon. But of course, I think pagdating sa tapos ipipilit ng buyer, pati mga bahay hindi na na-mention. Yes po, totoo yan. Actually, doon sa yung i-connect ko lang doon. Pagdating kasi sa appraisal, okay, pagdating sa mga appraisers, if I'm not mistaken, all trees and other attachments to the land is part of the land. So kaya nga pagdating sa appraisers, ina-appraise din kung magkano yung tree na nakatanim doon and kung magkano yung ginastos nila pagdating sa mga kunwari Nara tree, yung mga yan, I think ina-appraise siya kung magkano siya sa isang property. Yan. Yun po, no? So, pinapabayaran minsan nililibre ng mga buyer po, ng mga seller. Okay? So, depende po sa seller 'yon kung pababayaran niya or ililibre na lang niya. Pero most likely, madalas kino-consider po talaga kapag mga yes, ayan po, sabi ni Ma'am Rodora, nasa tax declaration din 'yan. Lalo na kung mango land yung yung area. Okay? So sabi po dito, ayan, by severance, it is possible to change an item of real property to personal property by severance. So yan po yung example ko sa yan po yung example ko kanina sa yung may orchid siya sa loob ng bahay niya. So, kunwari naka-attach siya doon sa puno, that is part of the real property. But once na tinanggal niya na yon, doon sa puno na yon, it is considered the personal property already. That is severance. Okay? So, yun yung concept of severance from being a real property to personal property. Okay? So, kuwari aircon, okay? 'Di ba inattach siya sa bahay, yung mga split type aircons, tama po ba? Inattach siya sa bahay, that is part of the real property already since nagkaroon ng physical attachment. Okay? Pero kapag tinanggal yung aircon sa loob ng bahay, it becomes a personal property. So that is severance. Okay? Next naman po, pwede naman ding gawin from personal property, gagawin siyang real property by the concept of annexation. So please take note of the word severance and annexation. Baka magamit nyo po yan sa sa inyong mga board examination. Severance and annexation. So annexation is if a landowner buys a cement, stones, and sands and construct a house on the land, the component parts of the concrete aggregates which were originally personal property are converted into a real property when it becomes a house or a building. So they have become a permanent improvement on the land, and this process is called annexation. Kapag sinabi pong annexation, yan yung maglalagay ka ng isang bagay doon sa property na personal property siya, and then tinayo mo doon, nilagay mo doon, then it becomes a real property. So that is annexation. Yan. So, annexation din po is pwedeng yung extension ng bahay, Okay? Kung may building na siya, tapos lalagyan nyo siya ng extension, dirty kitchen, that is annexation also. Kung lalagyan nyo naman siya ng built-in cabinets na wala naman doon sa bahay, that is also part of annexation. Okay? So that is severance and that is annexation as concept po ng real estate. Okay? Next is the tangible and the intangible property. Ano po ang pinagkaiba ng intangible at tangible property? Madali lang po to, no? Kapag sinabing tangible, these are the property or tangible property includes physical things that can be seen and touched. Okay? So lahat ng nakikita natin at lahat ng nahahawakan natin within the property is called tangible property. While those intangible property cannot be seen or touched, and it is represented by some type of documents such as stocks, stock certificates, insurances, and yan po yun. And, right. So tangible and intangible property. So also take note of those terms, tangible and intangible property. So, ayan. I think napaaga ata ako na ano. So, these are the functional divisions and categories of real estate. So, meron lang po tayong ilang mga functional divisions of real estate based on the prescribed laws natin. So, what are the functional divisions and categories of real estate? First is basically land with all the rights attached therewith. However, land is categorized depending on its functional use. Okay, so there are basic categories or divisions of real estate such as number 1 is the land or the raw land. So the raw land is synonymous with the undeveloped lands. So it's devoid of key infrastructures such as sewer, water, or power, as well as paved roads and buildings. Kapag sinabi pong raw land or land, hindi pa po siya developed areas. Hindi pa siya developed lands. Okay? So wala pa po siyang sewer, wala pa siyang water lines, wala siyang power lines, wala pa siyang buildings and roads. So yan yung madalas na na-encounter natin. Actually, mostly pinapractice, madalas natin siyang pinapractice din na binibenta. The raw land are sometimes called agricultural lands, di ba? Basta po undeveloped land, they were called raw land. Yan, agricultural, yes. So those are raw lands. I think marami pang categories ng land. Maliban sa agricultural, if not mistaken, meron pang Kogon land, meron pang mga timberland and other lands na yan. Actually, hindi ako masyadong familiar with the other calls sa raw land. Next is the residential property or the residential category. So it is the property zoned specifically for dwelling for individuals or households. It may include standalone, single-family dwellings to large, multi-unit apartment and buildings. So kapag sinabing residential, it is properly used for residential purposes. Okay, yan na po yung mga subdivision, houses. I think part po ng residential, makakategorize natin siya, if not mistaken, automatic na makakategorize ang isang property if it is less than 1,000 square meters or 1,000 square meters and below. Tama po ba, Ma'am Ma'am Rodora? Tsaka si Ma'am Yan. I think 1,000 square meters for na hindi siya subdivision is considered already as residential property na. Okay? So baka po baka po ang pagkakaintindi natin sa residential is those only in the subdivision. So hindi lang po sila. Okay? So meron din siyang number, I think the size of the lot, i-consider siya automatically as residential property kapag 1,000 and below. Yes, usually po pag maliliit ang area. Yan. So I think 1,000 square meters is the maximum maximum square meter for a lot to be considered residential. Okay?
Parang pagka ano po yata, pagka hindi naman siya lalagpas ng 1,000 square meter, kahit hindi na siya dumaan sa sangguniang panlalawigan for reclassification.
Yes, considered po siyang residential.
Kasi pwede po siyang, kumbaga, pwede na po siyang i-convert as residential.
Yes. Ayun. As free
Kumbaga,
passive
kung
residential
hindi
daw
na
po is
pwede na siyang i-apply na.
yan. Alright, thank you. Yan. Okay. Next po is, ayun, the commercial property. So, commercial property is real estate that is used for business activities. So, commercial property usually refers to buildings that house businesses, can also refer to land used to generate a profit, as well as large residential rental property. So, kapag sinabi ng mga ayan, sabi ni Ma'am Rodora kung ano po yung actual use based on Section 217 of RA 7160. Right. Yan. So when it comes to commercial property, it is those real estate that is used for to generate a profit, as well as the large residential rental property. So isa po dyan sa mga example ng commercial properties ay yung mga malls natin. Okay? Yung mga SM, Ayala, Robinsons, di ba? And yung mga malls are commercial properties. Even yung mga houses that generating profits, okay, commercial property din yan. Okay? And also lastly is the industrial. When we say industrial, these are the real estate. Industrial real estate encompasses various properties from warehouses and manufacturing plants to office buildings and retail centers. Typically, industrial real estate is any property used for business purposes. This includes properties that are leased out to tenants as well as those that are owner-occupied. Industrial real estate is essential to the economy, allowing businesses to operate and generate income. So normally, ang industrial real estate are those used for warehouses and manufacturing plants to office buildings and retail centers. Normally, ang mga industrial properties are categorized din or ina-approve din or kinakategorize ng local government unit if it is for industrial or minsan pinapa-change pa yung use from agricultural to industrial. So, yan. So, those are the four major categories of real estate, the raw land, the residential, commercial, and industrial. But later on, lately we have the so-called the special use or the special kind of real estate. So kung kanina puro more on business at saka sa buhay yung ginagamit ang pinag-uusapan natin, but today nauuso na rin po ang the special use or the special kind of real estate. So baka po akalain natin na more on housing lang or yung industrial lang or commercial lang yung mga pwede nating ibenta, but on our license, on our real estate practice, wag po natin kakalimutan that this special kind of real estate ay nauuso na ngayon since pandemic. Okay? So these are the memorial lots. Thank you po. So this refers to properties dedicated for memorial use. Example of this are the memorial lots, columbariums, and others. So, hindi lang po pang buhay ang real estate, no? Pwede din po siya hanggang sa ililibing na, yung para sa mga patay. So, lately, ang pinaka hindi po ganon kahigpit when it comes to real estate practice na sinisita ng human settlements or the DSUD is the special use or the special kind of real estate. Kasi parang siguro hindi pa nila nakikita yung ganong kalaking demand when it comes to the memorial use. Kaya hindi pa nila ganon monitor. Alright? So, and so that's it for the 5 categories, basic categories of the real estate, which are the land, the raw land, the residential, the commercial, industrial, and special use kind of real estate. Okay, so meron po ba tayong mga katanungan, clarification, or and actually that ends my presentation for today. And so any question? May question po ba tayo?